Walking around indiscriminately will only trigger more restrictions and step into the grave faster. Sure enough, the restriction formation were everywhere in Dragon Cave Mountain. Step by step, more than 80 Saint Kings, within half a time before and after entering Dragon Cave Mountain, the whole people was wiped out, and no one survived. Xianxia could hardly believe his eyes. This is more than 80 Saint King realm martial artists. Even if they run into it, they can only temporarily avoid the edge, but now there is no soldier on Dragon Cave Mountain. It can even be said that no one did anything, but they all died here. What is the tiger's den? This small hill is more terrifying than a tiger's den. However, Xianxia also saw that it was impossible to cut off the 80 Saint Kings so easily by relying on the power of the formation alone, but the hand of the formation was simply appalling. The things that are used as the formation eye are actually a powerful artifact. With the power of the formation, the power of these artifacts will be greatly enhanced, so those Saint Kings have no resistance at all. How many artifacts does it need to arrange so many formations? Xianxia couldn't imagine. On the other side, in Heavenly Fate City, Qiantong and Fei Jitu were equally dumbfounded, and they looked at each other in amazement. Although they also knew that Dragon Cave Mountain would definitely have many restrictions, they never thought that there would be such a powerful power. 80 Saint King realms were thrown in, and even the depth of Dragon Cave Mountain was not explored. Now the Xie Family, 10,000 Beast Mountain, and Demon Blood Sect have lost a lot. It seems that the people in Tinluotang don't need to be dispatched. Wei Gucheng was also gloating on the sidelines. Not necessarily. Fei Jitu slowly shook his head. The other party only loses the Saint King realm. The Void Return stage expert hasn't started yet. Let's keep watching. Wei Gucheng pondered for a while, and felt the same. After all, the strength that the Void Return stage in the Saint King realm can exert is completely different. The Xie family and other alliances seemed to have suffered heavy losses, but in fact they did not hurt their forces. Outside Dragon Cave Mountain, Xie Li, the old man surnamed Du from 10,000 Beast Mountain, as well as the middle-aged man of the Demon Blood Sect, all had a gloomy face, and everyone's expressions were extremely ugly. No one could have imagined that Dragon Cave Mountain's defensive power could be so powerful. Without the attack of the three old men, dozens of Saint King realm were all killed. If the restrictions in Dragon Cave Mountain were so strong, the Saint King realm couldn't play a big role here. They could only become a cannon fodder. After pondering for a moment, Xie Li suddenly said, "Everyone, shall we split up? Separate attacks." 10,000 Beast Mountain old man frowned. Yes, the front of this mountain restriction seems to be huge, and it is not so easy to break through. In that case, we might as well try it from other places. Xie does not believe that this whole mountain is like this. It always has weak links. Xie Li said slowly. Well, brother Xie made sense. The old man surnamed Du pondered for a moment, and felt that what Xie Li said was correct, and immediately said, "Then the old man, go there." He pointed his hand, then waved his hand to the disciples of 10,000 Beast Mountain, sat down on the blue-eyed blood toad, and flew to the side. The middle-aged man of the Demon Blood Sect naturally had no objection, and immediately took his disciple and chose the opposite direction. The remaining Sea Heart Sect and Flowing Cloud Valley people did not move, but chose to stand on the united front with the Xie family. Only Xie Jian was looking forward. For a time, the alliance of several parties divided into three groups. Explore the weakness of Dragon Cave Mountain defense from three directions. A ruthless color flashed in Xie Li's eyes, and a few orders were given as his lips squirmed. He immediately waved his hand and led the charge towards Dragon Cave Mountain. Under his leadership, the other Void Return stage also dispersed, each with some martial artists Saint King realm. Divide into several teams and move forward while being vigilant. A series of spiritual mind was investigating every inch of the land in Dragon Cave Mountain, and the enemy who came in was unwilling to miss any detail in a suspicious place, for fear of accidentally triggering any restrictions, resulting in the disaster end. Such cautious is indeed very effective. They really found a few traces of the formation, and they immediately avoided it with extreme vigilance. Even if someone accidentally touched the restriction, it would not be as strong as before. After all, now with the addition of the Void Return stage powerhouse, even if they falls into the formation, they has not begun to fight. What made them even more overjoyed was that these formations in the front of the Dragon Cave Mountain, after exerting their magical effects just now, seemed to be out of power at this moment, and their power was greatly reduced. Even if they were triggered, they were successfully blocked by those Void Return stage. Pushing forward a full distance of 100 feet, no one was injured or killed. The morale was high for a while, and they all looked at the not far away Xianxia and others. They were still drinking and having fun over there and waiting. It seemed that they could not wait to fly to them now and cut off the heads of the three of them to relieve the hatred. After a while, under the leadership of Xie Li, many cultivators have come to Xianxia and other three people 10 meters away. Xie Li raised his hand to signal everyone to stop, looked at the three with a cold expression, and sneered, "You three, if you still have any means, don't hide it, and use it together to show Xie's insight. Otherwise, you won't have the opportunity to use it again." Hearing that, he raised his head and glanced at him. There was no panic on his face. Instead, he smiled strangely. "Xie brother, why do you think you can get here safely? You really think Dragon Cave Mountain is so easy to break through?" Two faint questions made Xie Li's expression frantically changed, and he exclaimed, "Not good." While speaking, he threw a pitch-black long whip. The whistling of wind and thunder was hidden on the whip, and the electric light flickered. It was clearly a very powerful artifact. The long whip was like a sea dragon, which struck Xianxia in the chest. But what makes Xie Li feel strange is that Xianxia didn't even intend to resist. Instead, he still sat on the spot, looking at himself with a smile, motionless. Xie Li originally wanted to catch Xianxia so that Dragon Cave Mountain would throw away their defensive means. How could he know that he made a move like thunder, but the other party did not resist? Looking for a dead end. Xie Li's eyes flashed sharply. Not only did he not intend to withdraw the long whip, but instead poured the Saint Xi into the long whip more fiercely, to kill Xianxia violently. Boom! The long whip was wrapped in electric light and hit the body of Xianxia. The arc lingered, and the electric snake was swimming, directly splitting the body of Xianxia. Not only that, even the table and chairs in front of him, the wine jars all exploded into powder. Even Haoan and Ning Xiangchen were not spared. At the same time that the body that often stood up was torn apart, the two of them also burst apart. There is no smell of blood, no blood spattering, and no feeling of hitting the real object. Xie Li narrowed his eyes and said in amazement, "Illusion formation?" Looking around again, there are no tables and chairs in front of him, and the surrounding scenery is also distorted, all disappeared, replaced by a gray world, without the sun, moon and stars. The earth is dry, and there is no grass within 100 miles. Unknowingly, he stepped into the illusion formation laid by the enemy, which made Xie Li's heart sink to the bottom. What made him more uneasy was that the Void Return stage that should have gathered around him were gone at this moment, and there were only 4 Saint King realm martial artists left beside him. It seemed that at the moment when the illusion formation came into play, everyone was blocked and fell into a situation of fighting alone. How is it possible? Xie Li's face was sullen. It was only a small hill. How could it be able to arrange such a deep formation? He suddenly felt that it seemed that it was not a wise decision to provoke Dragon Cave Mountain by himself. While the many cultivators led by Xie Li were wrapped in the illusion, 10,000 Beast Mountain was also caught in a hard fight. Under the leadership of the old man named Du, the cultivators of 10,000 Beast Mountain circumvented from the side, preparing to look for weak defenses. To his surprise, everything went smoothly. There seemed to be no powerful restrictions and formations in the direction he chose, which let him advance all the way, and soon advanced to the area near the middle of Dragon Cave Mountain. He even noticed that many cultivators were hiding in a cave. The old man surnamed Du was overjoyed, and immediately ordered his disciples to get ready to drive straight in, to find Xianxia inside the cave. But the good luck ended here. As soon as his order was given, monster beasts of different shapes and ranks, all covered with fiery red, came out from all directions. The old man surnamed Du couldn't believe what he saw. These monster beasts had no entity at all. They were obviously made of pure fire-type auras, and he faintly felt that these monsters were familiar. It wasn't until a disciple under the sect shouted that he suddenly realized, isn't this a fire spirit beast unique to Flowing Flame Sandfield? How could it appear in this ghost place? Isn't this place not considered to be rich with fire attributes spiritual energy? He don't understand, but the old man surnamed Du is not afraid at all. On the contrary, he is a little happy, because the fire spirit beast will breed flint, which is a good thing. Whether it is used for refining or alchemy, it is useful. Fire crystal stone can only be obtained by cultivators on the shadowed star when the flowing flame sand is opened. Such a large group of fire spirit beasts appeared in front of him, and if all of them were killed, the reward would definitely not be small. Excited, the old man surnamed Du drove the blue-eyed blood toad under his seat to fight the fire spirit beasts. Soon, the old man surnamed Du discovered what was wrong. That is, no matter how many fire spirit beasts he killed, he couldn't see a tiny bit of fire crystal stone. There is no such thing as a fire crystal stone in these fire spirit beasts. On the contrary, they seem to be endless, especially the leading fire spirit beasts whose strength is equivalent to that of ninth order monster beasts, which have caused a lot of casualties to the disciples. The old man surnamed Du was furious, and immediately used a secret technique to disperse the fire spirit beasts by thunder means. It is hateful, these few fire spirit beasts with strength equivalent to the ninth order monster beasts unexpectedly came out from who know where, as if they were immortal. This situation has occurred several times in succession. While the old man surnamed Du whispered in his heart, he also became anxious. Although the fire spirit beast is not difficult to deal with, but if there are too many ants, it can even kill the elephant. If it continue like this, except for the void return stage escaping, no one else can leave this place alive. To be continued.